Welcome to the Modern Assyrian program on ANB SAT. My name is Carmen Morad. I am especially thrilled today on our program to have the Chief of Police of Turlock, Chief Nino Amirfar. Nino Amirfar currently serves as the police chief and is in his 20th year in law enforcement. Police Chief Amirfar began his career with the Alameda County Sheriff Department in February of 1989. In August of 1990, he was hired by the Turlock Police Department. He began as a patrol officer, took on the added responsibility as a field training officer. He took over the Drug Suppression Officer grant and was able to obtain an additional 3 years of funding. He began the School Resource Officer program and brought every 15 minutes program to Stanislaus County. He was promoted to Police Corporal in May of 2003 and returned to patrol duties. He was promoted to Sergeant in October of 2007 and then Lieutenant in October of 2011. Chief Amirfar was assigned the Special Operations Division as a lieutenant and assisted in the transition of the police department from the 900 North Palm Street location to the new public safety facility now located at 244 North Broadway. Chief Amirfar was promoted to captain in June of 2015. He was appointed to acting chief in August of 2016 and promoted to police chief in January of 2017. Police Chief Amirfar is married with an adult daughter, an adult son, and 2 grandchildren. He and his wife of 30 years are lifelong residents of the area and are actively involved in the community. Police Chief Amirfar was raised in the Bay Area and moved to the Central Valley at the age of 16, and he graduated from Ceres High School in 1979. His law enforcement interest began as a child with his Little League coach, who was a police officer. He attended Modesto Junior College, where he received an Associate of Arts degree in Administration of Justice. Police Chief Amirfar's formal education includes a Bachelor of Science degree from the Union Institute and University. Police Chief Amirfar has had completed the Sherman Block Leadership Institute, FBI Law Enforcement Executive Development Association, courses in Supervision Leadership Institute, Command Leadership Institute, and Executive Leadership Institute courses, and Police Executive Research Forum, courses in Senior Management and Institute of Policing. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
This is truly a privilege and an honor to have you on our program. I know how busy you are, Nino. I know running a city and a police department of this size is not an easy task, but thank you for accepting to be interviewed by us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I do enjoy talking with our community members, and it's always a pleasure to talk with you, Carmen. So.
Thank you, Nino. You know, I have to share with our viewers, and I'm sure most of them have had the privilege and honor to either be at your swearing-in ceremony or have viewed it on our different programmings that we've had. It took place at the Assyrian American Civic Club of Turlock.
Yes, it did.
And I'm going to remind you, because I was there and it was very emotional. It was packed. It was standing room only. And I remember your peers, your colleagues from the Sheriff Department, Police Department, different law enforcement agencies were there. But also, do you remember how many Assyrians attended? And they were so emotional to have one of their own sons to be sworn in at their own facility, at their own home, as the top chief of the city of Turlock.
It was overwhelming. It's interesting. I really didn't want anything big. I'm not one that really enjoys a lot of attention. So it was overwhelming to see the support I had from my peers from other agencies and just the police department itself. But when I looked out in the crowd and I saw my family and my friends, and then I saw a lot of Assyrian community members out there that I've seen in the Assyrian parties at the Civic Club, and it was, wow, it was a lot of people there, and I was humbled and I was proud too. So.
We are all very proud of you, and what we would like to talk to you today, is the premise of this program is civic engagement, especially being here in the city of Turlock. Mm-hmm. When I have interviewed different government officials, beginning with Congressman Jeff Denham, who represents us here, and he's done a great job representing the Assyrian community among other communities in this district, but also assembly members, council members, mayors, and I need to share this with you, that this is the proudest interview that I've done, simply because it's very meaningful for us to have this conversation because of what we're going to talk about, the fact of community pride, community ownership. We recently just talked about what it takes to give back to a community that has embraced the Assyrians here in Turlock for over a century. What it takes for us to let the community, the city know that we're not just guests here. This is our new home. This is where we live. The importance of learning the ways, the importance of acculturating, at the same time preserving our very unique heritage, our language, our ways. That's very important, and I really would like to hear more from you on how you grew up, how much mentorship you had. For someone who's watching tonight, perhaps a young person who is seeking mentorship, who is seeking that kind of direction and motivation to say, well, if Nino did it, maybe I can do it too.
Those, if I could bottle it all up into a box and sell it, I would probably be on a beach somewhere. But life has its ups and downs. And what's so unique about America, United States, Turlock, there's opportunities. There's always going to be opportunities, and it's the ability to understand when an opportunity presents itself. And growing up as a kid, it was not easy. We grew up in the Bay Area. My parents divorced when I was 7, so it was really hard. And my biggest mentor and coach was my mom. She went through so much diversity, so much hardship. Back in in the late 60s, early 70s, women didn't work. There wasn't jobs, and yet she always was there for us. She always tried to take the higher road, and she made it real clear to us that freedom and responsibility has a cost. You don't get to say, it's not my problem. It's always going to be our problem. We always have to work towards solutions. So she was a very big mentor for me. Growing up, I also had other mentors. I had, a baseball coach that was part of the Pacifica Police Department in the Bay Area. In San Francisco, there was a sergeant that I met every now and then. He was friends with my dad. So those were really good role models. And then, as growing up, you continue to go through changes in life, and you make mistakes, but you learn from your mistakes, and you continue to grow. And that's what we all have to do. You cannot allow a hardship or a bad day to really tell you which path you're going to go. It's a path you need to choose, and you need to stay on it. It's just like driving to Los Angeles. You're going to run into traffic, but you get there. You get there. Your goal is to get there and then make a difference. So.
Those are very wise words to remember and go by. Let's talk about Turlock and your career in law enforcement. It's been since, I would say, late 80s and early 90s that you started, and as you just mentioned, you grew up in the Bay Area, but you came back.
Yes.
You came back to Turlock. What have you seen in the few years in Turlock, the change? Obviously, there are a lot more Assyrians living here. The challenges of the city have grown. The population has increased dramatically. What do you see a change, and what vision do you see for, as far as being the chief, as far as taking Turlock to a new level?
So Turlock has always been a unique community. I remember as a kid coming here for the Assyrian Convention every May and just loving Divine Gardens back in the day with the bowling alley and everything.
You just dated us. We all know where that.
I know I did. I know I did. But you know, those are fond memories. Paul's, the old convention center was Paul's Motel. I just remember running in the dirt parking lot areas when everybody was inside dancing. So Turlock has grown, you know, 5-6-fold since those times. But the community has remained very wholesome and genuine and caring. And when I say the community, I mean all of us, Assyrians, you know, our Hispanic community, our Sikh community. We've all worked together to build the community up to where it is now. You know, we have wonderful businesses here. We have wonderful restaurants. We have our churches, our community groups, our support of each other. When things go bad, we all come together as one. And Turlock is very, very unique in that as we continue to grow, our universities continue to grow, our educational systems in Turlock, our school districts, they're the best. And it's all because we care. And I mean all of us. So Turlock has a very, very bright future ahead of it as long as it remembers who the community is, what we are and what we stand for. And we should always stand for doing what is right for each other and what is right for the community, and keep selfishness out of it. Keep individuals who want for themselves rather than for all. And as a police department, that's the primary goal that I've pushed forward. Is you hear community policing, and I've talked about it, but it's a concept that was developed by Sir Robert Peel. And it just is the community works for itself in order to ensure its safety and prosperity. That's what it is. And I'm just part of the community, and I've been honored to be a police officer in order to protect those individuals, our community members, when the time is necessary. But that doesn't mean our community does not stay together and work together to solve problems. You cannot depend on one individual. A family has a father, a mother, an aunt, uncle, grandparents. They all work together to raise that family. It's not just one person. If you depend on one person, you will fail. It has to be a community effort, a village effort, and Turlock is unique because that's exactly what it does. And the Assyrian community, its culture, its diversity, its understanding of that village concept, that community concept, adds to this city. So that's the way I see it.
It's a very articulate way of how you described it, because there are different members of the community who have been here all their lives. They see a different lens. There are those of us who have been here at a very young age, and then we have newcomers that are arriving. Yeah. So some of them are not aware of the unique history of what it took for those who took that first step. Our history, our modern history, for example, of, and I know your dad, Cyrus Amirfar, is very involved. He is one of the pillars of the Assyrian American Civic Club. Because when you believe in something, when you believe in an organization that gives back, that has grown with the scholarships to the high schools, for example, and how they hire, for example, some of the Assyrians coming that really need that first job, that they train them actually. They find other jobs after they've worked at the Civic Club. But let me take you back a couple of years ago to the 70th anniversary of the Assyrian American Civic Club. We had a gala. Yes. And you had just been actually appointed chief. You were acting chief for a while.
Yes.
I remember when we came to invite you for the festival, you were acting chief, and you were very adamant about, Carmen, I'm not chief yet. You know, don't call me chief, I'm just acting chief. And I told you, I said, there's such admiration for you. You're going to fit right in. But we know there is policy, procedure, and protocol. There had to be things that you go through to officially have become the chief. But do you remember the camaraderie, the love, the respect, the community just coming around and saying, he is our chief?
Yes, I do. I mean, it goes back to the day my swearing in. My family ended up going home. I was there almost 3.5 hours just getting hugs and handshakes. And then the gala, you know, that was awesome. 70 years, 72 years.
It's 72 now,
Yeah,
but it
it's
was
now.
70th at the time.
But it was 70 at the time, and it was just, for me, it was awesome that 70 years the Civic Club, the Assyrian community, has had that input in our society here at Turlock, and I was just proud to be part of it. And I was a little embarrassed when Sam David had me come up, but I'm just proud to be a part of our community and proud to be Assyrian. And I learned a lot of, you know, you mentioned my dad, and my dad is a firm believer in doing what is right, regardless of what others think. And quite frankly, we should all have those goals and objectives in place to understand that your personal triumphs and so forth don't matter. It matters what the family can achieve. And for us, it's our Assyrian family and coupled with the city of Turlock. Big impact. We have a big impact here.
You know, your dad shared a story that really touched all of us. He said that back home, where he was growing up, his dream was to become a police officer. And because of his faith and because of his ethnicity, he was told, or he was made to believe, that that was not possible. And I won't get into the details, but I think our viewers understand what I'm talking about. And yet, here you are, his son is the chief of police. He saw that dream come true, and this is exactly why we are talking about giving back to a community that gives us these unique opportunities. It is our responsibility to give back and to step up and say, this is the country and this is the community, this is the city that fulfills those dreams. And along with responsibility and hard work, a lot of hard work. It doesn't stop, it's continuous, but things are possible. And it starts with perhaps volunteering, and we're going to talk about a little bit more about the police department under your leadership with volunteers. We have an Assyrian woman, Janet Datanis, who volunteers. And how else can we get members of our community to volunteer, to go through the Citizens Academy? My two sons, as teenagers, when they were very young, they went through the Citizens Academy in Modesto. It might spark an interest to become a civic servant, to become a law enforcement, and there are different aspects of it. There's administrative responsibilities or positions, or they can be in uniform. Are they a protector? What kind of instinct do they have that they can? Tell us a little bit more about how people can, maybe they can do a ride-along. They can shadow you, for example, and do internships. What possibilities and opportunities are they available?
So there are quite a few opportunities. It's interesting. We discussed some of these a few council meetings ago in regards to what are we doing to recruit into the police department. And it goes right to what you're talking about. We have programs in place here for our young adults, our high school aged adults, and it's an Explorer program. It's represented through the Boy Scouts of America, they're part of that group, but it's a Police Explorer program that high school students can get involved in. And it teaches them responsibility, and it teaches them quite a few things in regards to law enforcement and what we really do for our community. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be police officers. They could be dispatchers. They could be council members. They could be business owners, but it teaches them a level of responsibility and commitment. And it's not easy work, but that's part of it. We have our volunteers in police service. You talked about Janet. She does outstanding job, but these are individuals that at first started out was, you know, if you're retired, come work with the police department. We'll train you. You can drive around in a car and be a second set of eyes. You're not going to go chase people.
Or arrest people.
Or arrest people.
Or carry a gun.
Yeah, none of that stuff. But you're going to be our community outreach group. The groups that, you know, reach out, do neighborhood watch programs. They work in our lobby areas. They work in our records areas. They help us with administrative duties. You know, they do outreach programs. But that has developed so far. It's no longer retirees. Anyone can do it, and it's it's your commitment to give back to the community. There are requirements. Obviously, we just can't bring anyone into the police department, but it's an opportunity. Internship. We work with the CSUS University, and we bring interns in every year, 2 or 3. And while they are coming in under the criminal justice field, once again, it's not to be only a police officer. You know, we just had one, she wants to be involved in the FBI, and that's the path they're going, but it still gives us the ability to bring in community members, university students, and be engaged so they have an idea of what they're getting into and what the depth is of criminal justice. So there's quite a few things. We have our cadet program that works with college students and pays them as long as they're attending college with 6 minimum units and their intent is to get into law enforcement. We bring them on also as a paid position. In fact, we're sending 4, 2 of which are going to be cadets to the police academy. We're going to be able to do that. So there's quite a few opportunities, quite a few community outreach, and quite a few abilities for our community to give back to what the rest of the community needs. So there are very good programs in place, and it's kind of fun going through them, you know, to see these young adults come through and grow and expand and see, hey, I can do that. Or, that's not for me, but I like doing crime analyst. I like putting in numbers and doing computations, or I like the chemistry of evidence where you're doing DNA swabs and stuff. So, you know, those all lead to biology, to chemistry, to digital science. It's amazing how you have the ability to help people in their path of giving back. So hopefully that answered the question.
It does, and I'm hoping our viewers, those who needed to hear those words from a chief of police, that they will pay attention and they will look into it. You know, CSI, the TV show, did that for a lot of kids.
Yes, it did.
Who were interested in biology and chemistry, but it created an exciting career for them. And all the ones that you just mentioned do that. And to have the opportunity to do it in their own city under the leadership of Chief Amirfar, why not, right?
It's good for them to do that. And, you know, I just know as a kid, I just didn't have that opportunity. Whether it was there or not, I don't know. But it helps. It helps guide our young adults to where they want to be. You know, we can answer their questions.
You know, it is through our media, this interview that we're doing. In Turlock, we have a local TV, radio, and now with the Syrian National Broadcasting, we have this global platform where people get to hear us, and we have the responsibility of raising awareness on opportunity, responsibilities. Perhaps to us we're repeating it, but there is someone out there who's hearing it for the first time. Someone who will see you for the first time and be motivated, and you have inspired them in a way that they will continue to follow the path or an interest that they say, maybe I will reach out, maybe I will, regardless if they live in Turlock or not. regardless if they're in the United States or not. But that motivation is priceless.
Thank you.
As we were walking into this beautiful new facility, the new Turlock Police Department, I was looking at the plaque outside, and it said Mayor John Lazar.
Yes.
This is when the grand opening, and this building was actually inaugurated, I should say, when our own Mayor John Lazar was still in office. And then we walked inside, we see your picture as the chief. And then I looked at another picture on the wall with Matthew Jacob as our Assyrian City Councilman. We're going to take a small break and come back and finish our conversation with Chief Nino Amirfar.
بعينات بغزايق شبرة بريتا وأمانوتا وخلقتت سيارة بهيارتت عيناتن باليابخ بقرايخ وبكتابخ أنا نقايوتا كخامتت عيناتوخون سلامت بيش نزريز تهار ماشين بريشة كسخصتت عيناتوخون أن ماشين إينا رابة تكنيكاية بخادرقا ألايا تبقون بأسيا جون مايكل أوون اتلخان نسيان رابة أرويخا جدا جخلا سخصتت عيناتا سخصتا سلاماتويتا وخامتت بارد عيناتوخون ماسيتون سابيتون لجودة أسيا جون مايكل جو ريتنا انستيتوت أوف إلينوي أسيا جون مايكل اتل سب سبيشالتي جو ريتنا وكامس غير قداني قتلون مرض شاكر يان diabetic retinopathy, retinal detachment, macular degeneration, and complications of cataract surgery. يومنديت شيكاغو غريمون المنيان التلفون شوامو شوفيتلا شوامو تماني أربا إتشي أربا سيبار سيبار. يومنديت نايلز غريمون المنيان التلفون تمانيامو أربي شوفا ترمو إتشي شوفا تماني أتشا سيبار سيبار.
We all have that one person we call, no matter what the situation or event. Who do you call when you've had a stressful day at work? When you get the news that you're having your first child, or that you landed your dream job? Now, what if you or a loved one have been injured and need advice? Who do you call? Think about it.
قبوش مطانيات وبقارة قاعبيلوخون ماسيتون قاريتون المنيانة تلمو تريسر وتجمو اسري اتشا تلايت منيا سيبار شافا توني اسكالاغراكوس and the associates ماسي هايريلان بيليشانا آتورايا.
Have you tried to get rid of that unwanted stubborn fat with diet and exercise, but it just won't go away? Is that stubborn fat spoiling your weight loss efforts or ruining your physique? Introducing Sculpture, a laser-based system that removes fat without surgery so you can enjoy a slimmer, trimmer figure. Sculpture allows you to remove fat from specific areas of your body like the belly, back, waist, and thighs. Sculpture removes slices of fat layer depending on a number of treatment sessions. Sculpture is a cosmetic procedure that is non-invasive and doesn't require incisions or surgery. Each session is 25 minutes long. It uses patented laser heat technology to target only fat layers underneath the skin, breaking down the walls of the fat cells and liquefying them so your body can carry the debris away over the course of 6 to 12 weeks. Dr. Fatima Pazuki is an experienced provider of sculpture treatments for patients in and around Turlock, California. Dr. Pazuki helps patients achieve the results they're seeking with individualized consultations and treatment plans. Call us at 209-216-3570 or book an appointment online.
Rose Express, bringing a personal touch to every arrangement. Rose Express will handpick the most beautiful flowers and bouquets for any occasions, from weddings to birthdays, anniversaries, funerals, and so much more. We have over 30 years of experience behind us, and we're voted #1 florist. Our award-winning floral designers will help create the best arrangements and centerpieces for any occasion. Weddings are our passion, and we will make sure you walk away with the best experience for your dream day. We offer complimentary wedding consultation. Contact us for a free consultation, and one of our design team members will work with you to create an event that you will not forget. You can reach us at 408-771-6140 or 408-564-7175. We are located at 3575 Stevens Creek Boulevard, Suite C, San Jose, California. Thomas Auto Sales, Gumantica, California. Qashavasar Shinne, Thomas Auto Sales, Itlanisiana Guzabentit Atmobile, Gumditit Mantica, California. Gu Thomas Auto Sales, Kipelchi Raba Qishye, قميات خدوتا غزونانا قد بالت خدية بأوتوموبيل خاتي ين مبلخة بخات ديما رابا مرديانا. Thomas Auto Sales كم سخيرخ لكم بفاينانسينج وشغلت لونز. ميقرأ كمال توماس مارد توماس Auto Sales مقروب لي قيكوت زوناندنا بديابل $10 ديسكاونت مال ليست برايس. أدرس دي ان إيلا 8 East Yosemite Avenue Gumdited Manteca, California. Kamsitun qaritun lan al 3 sipar ujja 3 la ujja sipar.
Thank you for joining us again. We're back with Chief Nino Amirfar with the City of Turlock Police Department. You shared with us some very insightful ideas that you had about community ownership, stepping up and taking initiative to do things. You are now in a very powerful leadership position with a lot of hard work, a lot of, I don't want to use the word stress, but I know that with these positions, there's a lot of responsibilities and decisions that you make. Let's talk about your role and what how your faith plays a role in it, and how that helps you lead in making certain decisions that you do, that really it's time to take a step back and just really look at everything as the big picture.
So you're right. We did have a discussion during our break. My faith is a very big part of me and my family. Every night before I go to bed, I thank the Lord for His wisdom, His giving me patience, and most of all, keeping the love in my heart for my family and all of our community. And I say that rather generally in regards to community, because you talk about a police chief's authority. You know, this is a rank, this is a position, this is a step on a ladder. It's not power. Your power comes from the trust that people place in you, the belief that people have in you or your organization. That is power. Having an understanding that when I go to sleep, I know that every police officer, every dispatcher, every records clerk, everyone that is working in our organization is doing the right thing for the community. That is where the power is. The authority is yeah, you're the chief, big deal. The people around you, the people you surround yourself with, the trust you have in those individuals, that is really what is important. And it goes right into our community. We talk about community. What is community? Community is every single one of us having a responsibility to give of ourselves to make it better for the whole. So if you're a doctor, if you're a nurse, if you're, I don't know, Parks and Recs, your business owner, it doesn't matter who you are, we each have a responsibility and a gift that has been given to us, and we need to give back. We need to give back to the community to make our place where we choose to live and raise our families the gem of the valley, and that's what Turlock is. Mm-hmm. So I'm lucky to be where I'm at, and I thank God every day for it. And I do ask every day, every night, and every morning for that continued gift of patience, understanding, caring, and love for the community. And I got to tell you, if you don't have that, at least for me, your purpose is gone. Your ability to help make change for the better is really not there. It's gone. because the one bump you hit, you will have a flat tire without a spare. So, yeah, I thank the Lord every day.
You know, I have to share with you, Nino, that when I speak with some of your peers, some of your colleagues, from City of Turlock or not, the one word that comes up when they describe you is integrity. And integrity is something that it doesn't happen overnight. It's something that with your, when a colleague or someone that has worked with you and knows you, when they say Nino is a man of integrity, that's your way of life. And you just described it beautifully. It has to do with what you believe, what your values are, and what your conviction is. And you bring that to the job, not only as a man, as a father, as a son, as a husband, but within this position, like you shared with us, it's the authority that you get from the job. But the power comes from your relationship with your God. And your faith, and it's very important as for those of our viewers who are watching, who find themselves in similar positions, not to forget who really is in charge.
That's right. We all should know that. But if you look at what goes on around our world, even our leaders forget that. It becomes very selfish. If you look at all the issues that pop up, it's selfishness. It's not having a clear understanding of we're here together. It does not matter what color you are, what sex you are, we're here together. We're breathing the same air, we're walking on the same earth, and you have to believe that there is a greater purpose for all of us. And faith for me is the priority. Everything comes from that faith. And you're right. If someone asks you, what's the answer on this problem from Nino, it's going to always be the same answer, 99.9% of the time, because the answer has to be the right one. It has to be the honest one. And it cannot be for one's self-gain. Cannot be. If it is for the benefit of all, you're on the right path. So.
Wonderful. Those are very nice words. Nino, in closing, what would you like to say to members of the community, Assyrian community, members of the community at large, especially for those who are not from Turlock who are watching you today? As I mentioned to you, this platform of having satellite television, that it creates such an opportunity for those who don't know you, who have never heard of you, to know about you, and to know of your achievement and accomplishment and what you stand for. And then at the end, if you want to say a few words in Assyrian, because I know you speak very good Assyrian.
I don't know if I speak very good Assyrian. I enjoy speaking Assyrian. I enjoy learning new words. I was born in Los Angeles, so my dad made real sure that we spoke Assyrian. I won't tell you how. But, you know, just remember, your dreams should never, ever be covered with a blanket. If you want to do something, if you believe that you can do something, then take the path. Do the work. Work is not easy, never has been. Work is always hard. Do the work. Don't let someone tell you you can't do it. Try. And if you're not successful, then try another path. You know, and believe in your faith. Your faith will guide you, and it never steers you wrong. You know, I wanted to be in law enforcement way before I actually was able to get into it. But, you know, I started my family early. Had to provide, could not afford to go, and got lucky just driving down the freeway when my wife saw a billboard sign that Alameda County was hiring sheriffs and putting us through the academy. So trust in your faith, trust in your beliefs, follow that path as far as it will take you. And if it changes for a reason. But always, always follow your dreams, and you can achieve anything that you put your mind forth. Anything that is free is not worth receiving. You have to put the work into it. You will cherish it much more, and the gratification that comes from being able to make your achievements, especially when those achievements help your community and help people around you that you love, is huge. And never forget your responsibility. Whether you're a Syrian American or any other member of this community, America, the United States of America, gives us an opportunity of freedom of choice, freedom of religion, freedom of speech. That comes with responsibilities. Nothing is actually free. You have to work for it, you have to be responsible for it, and you have to always engage in the opportunities to make yourself better, your family better, and your community better. As a whole, in humanity, we will be better. It's when we become selfish, self-serving, that it becomes destructive. So it's not about the authority. It is about the power from our Lord that provides you the ability to do what you can to make change and make humanity better. So I challenge everyone to step out of your comfort zone, step outside of your home, become involved. Don't sit back and believe what you read and hear on the internet. Do your own research, be engaged, and be accountable. You'll be much happier.
Thank you. And of course, is there anything you would like to say in Assyrian?
هاویتون رابا بسیم ایقار قیوتون قدی قیتون لخ قمایتوخون هنزمن بود خیوت دیگانی مجر انا شلوشن خامنی کلیاترای الخاگ یو عمل کیتا جوز این گانن پمن بدوارخ ناشی خینی لمسی آتی خامای گانن گرک آتخ قامای گرک هنزمخ گرک پلخ یو ملکیت گانن قا آتورای ملکیت آلخا زدی آل دیوما قا کلن هاوخ ایقارا علا خب هاویتون بسیمه یو هاوی رابا شاپیره
Basima Raba, Nino. Thank you so much for giving me the privilege and the opportunity, and our viewers, to have these few minutes with you. We hope that we can come back and visit you. You can give us some updates and give us more of this beautiful sense of inspiration from our conversation. Thank you, Nino.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us on the Modern Assyrian program. My name is Carmen Morad. We'll see you next time.